Welcome to the In My Humble Opinion podcast, a podcast that looks to discuss a number of topics that sometimes create more questions than answers. The views and opinions expressed by the presenters are their own and can be assured are utterly and woefully misinformed. If you like explicit content and naive ignorance, then please enjoy at your own risk.
Movie Showdown.
The Final.
Hello, and welcome to the In My Humble Opinion podcast. I'm Paul.
I'm Rob.
We're in the semi-final now.
Okay. Thank you for guiding me through this.
Sports terms. I wrote it down. I wrote semi-final time. So we got Forrest Gump versus Lord of the Rings and Showgirls versus Evil Dead.
Shit, whoever would have thought this?
I know, it's a tough one. So what we could do, instead of arguing the points here, we are going to randomly choose this.
Again, not we. You.
I'm going to think of a way that we can randomly choose this that is fair. Okay.
I'm going to think of a... Yeah, go on.
So I'm going to put a number next to each one out of 10, and you're going to try to give me that number, and whichever one you reach first is going to be the winner. So we've got Forrest Gump and Lord of the Rings here. So out of 10, what's your first pick? Your first number, completely at random.
7.
Okay, 7 is not there.
Okay.
Try again.
3.
No.
1.
No.
8.
No, not 8.
I'm like forgetting one for a second. 4.
4. Forrest Gump. Forrest Gump goes through. Forrest Gump was 4, and Lord of the Rings was 6.
Putting it down to this.
Yes, because for time, we can't argue.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Yeah.
Okay, so with Showgirls and Evil Dead, we'll do the same thing again.
Right,
Now,
we'll do it the other way. Okay. Yeah, go on then. I've got numbers.
Okay. You want me to guess the number?
Yeah.
9.
No.
3.
No.
7. 1.
Yeah, Showgirls.
Yeah!
Yeah. Well, guess what? Little secret. A little behind the scenes for you. None of them had fucking numbers, mate.
When you said I'll do it, I was like, he's going to choose Showgirls.
Yeah, of course I am. No, but at least I'm being honest about it.
Hey, what are you saying about me there?
I'm saying not about you, about society.
To be fair, I think I could have predicted this outcome.
So
Forrest Gump and Showgirls in the final of films that define us as people. So it's come down to it. Insert tense music here.
It's taken 3 episodes, terrible jokes, and movies falling like leaves in autumn to finally reach the final. Forrest Gump versus Showgirls. Who will win? I think we know who might win. My money's been on Showgirls since the very beginning. But let's find out in the final.
So we've reached the final here. So it is Forrest Gump versus Showgirls. But although we had a choice of 16 movies to begin with, there were some movies that were snipped. And I think Rob had mentioned this in a previous episode when he complained about how the movies were divvied up. So there are some honourable mentions here.
They're not honourable mentions. They're the fact that I gave you a list and you were clearly behind closed doors. You and your other half, you're like, no, my podcast, I edit it. I do all the art. Rob's just a fucking voice. Which I actually am.
You are.
It's
very integral as my co-host. So
yeah,
co-presenter.
I don't pretend shit. You were like, no, my podcast, my rules, bang. Yeah.
I didn't do it. No one would do it. And then we'd just be
very
talking
true.
about some stuff like we usually
Yeah,
do.
we'd just be talking.
Yeah. Oh,
We
God,
just wouldn't film it.
weird. So, yeah, honourable mentions. So there
Mm.
were some that were cut. And one of mine that were cut were the movie Get Out. So Get Out was a film that came out a few years ago. It was a horror film, but it was like a racially highlighting horror film where this family trapped black men or just black people in general, actually, by sending their daughter out, obtaining a chap, bringing them back, and then cutting out their brain and replacing it with a wealthy white person's brain to kind of live out this weird like white person fantasy. It's a very, very like surreal film, and like it's shot really well. The music's really good, and it is tense as fuck all the way through, and the acting in it is just flawless.
Wasn't it about like, I've only watched it once, but wasn't it about sustaining like almost like infinite living? Is that right?
In a way, like the family have like they put the consciousness of
The person that's dying.
a white, like a wealthy
Right.
white person, but then like with the added layer of changing race as well.
Oh, so were the white people dying or not?
They were just wealthy and they're getting old. It was like you say, it's just to kind of like lengthen that their lifespan.
Existence.
Yeah, but it's just so creepy. And Jordan Peele, who directs it, like went on to do Us and Nope, which are also great films as well. Just making great films for like from the black community that are original, but pay like homage to the genre in general. Like it's perfect.
I haven't watched either of the films afterwards. I really should. I really should.
I'd watch Nope. It's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like an alien film, but it's done in such a good way. It's so good.
Alien films are good. What's my
alien films is like a cloud, but no, it's really, really good. It's fucking mad. It's so good, and there's like an Akira reference in it as well.
Oh, I love Akira. I love alien films. It's the first time I was like a female with biceps. Let's go.
Yeah. It didn't confuse me as a kid anyway. Sigourney Weaver.
No. Set me up for China.
China. No, I had mad crush on Sigourney Weaver in Ghostbusters.
Yeah, valid. Yeah.
Yeah. Love
I
that.
had a mad crush over the fucking horrible painting in
Vigo.
Oh,
the car
man,
painting. Yeah.
I fucking love that painting. Yeah.
That's
good honourable mention. Very good.
Yeah. And what was one of the ones that I cut out deliberately then?
One of the ones you cut out deliberately was Commando, actually, and I understand it purely because there was far too much fucking testosterone in our list anyway. With Die Hard 1 and Die Hard 3, there was a hell of a lot of testosterone going on, and Labyrinth. I mean, I'm sorry, but David Bowie, his testosterone,
too much
shit, son.
Too much testosterone.
I love Commando. I love it so much. It is what it is. It tells you exactly what it's going to do, and it performs so well. Love it. Yeah.
The best bit in Commando. This is the film with Arnie, and like he meets like the other guy. I can't remember his name, but he's like he plays Apollo Creed in Rocky, I think.
Yeah,
and like they clasp hands for the like as like buddies.
Yeah,
and it's so bicepy.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah,
and then the slap, and like the camera work is epic. It like focusing on the bulging biceps and the sweat glistening off of the pure, beautiful man meat that is there, and literally. Like as that happened, and like the first time I watched it, I was probably like, I don't know, 10. I probably weighed about 3 kilos with glasses. I'm probably like 2 foot. I was like, I really want to be like that.
So what happened?
Well, I mean, I didn't get there like ever. My arms are still like spaghetti.
Yeah.
And I'm bored. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess like that's a film that really like awakens lots of homosexuality in a lot of men, I guess. Like
I mean, homo appreciation.
homoerotic. Yeah. The
Homoerotic.
appreciation of the masculine form.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, yeah.
And they're in the jungle and they do shit. So that's cool.
They're in the jungle and they do shit. And also, he fucking does shit. Like, he gets off that boat on the beach and he's strolling around with a fucking LMG.
Yeah, that's not a small
like
gun.
Machine gun. I'm not being funny. Like, it's a couple of years back, actually. And Bryn, if you're listening to this, you will appreciate this. So it's round a house that he was living in at the time. And they gave me, so in this house they had like a what's it called when a decommissioned weapon? What's that called? I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's it. Yeah, it's like out of service.
Yeah.
So yeah, non-active.
Yeah, just had one of these LMGs in their front room, and I'm like, fucking hell. I'm looking at it, I'm like, dear God, it's like 3 PM. I think it's my birthday. Anyway, irrelevant. I go there, I'm like, holy shit, is that real? They're like, yeah, it's decommissioned or whatever. Picked it up, and this thing is so heavy, like unbelievably heavy. And I was like, ugh. And the fact that Arnie is
One
just
hand.
bowling around in one of them, getting all
Swinging
these
it around.
guys. Beautiful.
Yeah,
Fucking loved it. Yeah.
do give that film some ratings. It's a good action film, and it is what it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
Fitting at the time. Another honourable mention that came out of that was Old Boy, the Korean version. So it's a pretty messed up film of a guy that's completely just like comes out of a box, not quite sure what's going on, and kind of has to figure out why these things are happening, where he's come from, like, and just try to retrace his steps and figure out what's happened. But leads to him eating an octopus live. One of the best fight scenes in cinema down a corridor, which has been emulated many times.
Oh God, yeah. Even in the game Seafood.
Yeah, Seafood, like, based off of that, the whole game.
Yeah, yeah. There's that scene where he like goes down the corridor. It's perfect.
Yep.
One shot.
One
Absolutely
shot.
beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's been copied so many times. Marvel loved to copy a one-shot corridor scene, but it was Old Boy that started it. Only for him to kind of like fall in love with a woman who ends up being his daughter.
No spoilers.
But yeah,
the beauty of... Oh, go on.
No. I love that film just because it is like he's a broken, lost person.
Yeah.
And like the thing that he clings on to just like essentially ruins his life. It's just a horrible game that these people are playing. Yeah.
I love like with that film. It's not an action film, not at all. It's complete drama or like thriller, mystery and shit.
Yeah.
And then when you actually find out why he was in that situation, because he was such a shitbag and stuff, it's like, oh my God, great film, love it. And that film changed me. When I watched that, I was like, holy shit, that's a good film.
Yeah. Korean films do that. They dive into some weird subject matters, but it's like there's a lot of like human effect on consequence. So like actions that you make, you will pay for in some way, and like a lot of them are usually like kind of based around that. Plus Korean cinema is actually just fucking great. If you ever get a chance to, like Train to Busan is a zombie film, better than a lot of like Western zombie films. Like so good.
Might give you a watch then.
Yeah, of course.
Anyway, my next film that you decided to put on a scrap heap,
back off,
was definitely not an action or anything like that. Is I love this film. Maybe it's because of the soundtrack more than anything. I don't know, because when the first time I watched it, I was like, oh my God, this song. Anyway, relevant is 500 Days of Summer. I fucking love this film. I love this film so much, mainly because the cast, Zoe Deschanel.
Yeah, she's pretty.
Chef Kiss.
And then Joseph Gordon-Levitt as well. He's in it and he plays a good lead.
He's such a good actor, great actor. The soundtrack, how it all ties in. And again, it's like towards the end of it where there are two sides of it and how they're so convoluted and argumentative. And then it's not a happy ending either.
No.
And I love Misery.
No, it's
Yeah.
good. Sometimes you don't have to end on a happy note. Like sometimes the most impactful films kind of have that like bittersweet ending.
Yeah.
Another one that I would have chosen. So I would have chosen Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind as well, with a guy that he kind of like breaks up with his girlfriend, and to do so to kind of help get him over the like that, or she breaks up with him, is go through some kind of medical procedure where it erases his memories, but then he kind of becomes conscious in that and starts reliving those memories, but trying to claw it back.
Yeah.
It's so good. It's really well shot as well. It's like quite low budget, but some of the like transitions between like reality and his dream state are so good. So good.
So good. And it's also, I think it resonates with everybody.
Yeah.
In fact, of like, if that technology was available, like, oh my God, like who wouldn't pay good money for that to forget something that they've done before?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I would definitely like to forget about the time that I pissed on the car and got arrested for it. Like, you know, we'd all love to forget those key things of like, yeah, it's great. Like almost like that was like a homage to Total Recall with Arnie back in the day.
And like there's similar there's similar themes in it for sure. Yeah. Like there's, you know, he doesn't have
the similar thing with the woman with 3 tits.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. Or like Judge Dredd with Sylvester Stallone, like, and the 3 shells. Yeah.
I wonder like what actors would have used that to forget films they've been in.
Wesley Snipes in Blade 1.
No, because Blade 1 was good. Blade 1 was great.
All right. Blade 1 was fine. It had Norman Reedus in it. He plays Daryl Dixon in The Walking Dead.
Yeah, he plays Daryl Dixon in fucking everything.
He's just Daryl Dixon now, yeah.
Just Daryl Dixon.
Yeah, I mean, Blade 1 was all right.
Blade 1 was great. The opening scene of it, actually, I haven't watched it recently, but the pod, has had a regular listener mention about it and like flashed it back to me. Yeah, it was great.
Yeah,
I fucking loved it.
They pushed it our way. We'll give it another watch.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. We mentioned Blade 3 because of my Ryan Reynolds crush. Yeah. It's shit.
No shit. Yeah, I mean,
it's so funny in that film. Like Wesley Snipes hated working on it so much that the director asked him to open his eyes in one scene and he wouldn't. He refused to do it, but they had to finish the scene, so they just CGI'd him opening his eyes.
Really?
So,
what, in the third one?
Yeah, the third one, yeah.
No, he was deliberately had his eyes shut.
Yeah, he was like, I'm not opening them. So they CGI'd it.
How do you do that? He was wearing sunglasses through all of it.
Oh, no, he was on a table, like, I don't know. Yeah.
It was like, no, what? Imagine if it was like an action shot. Open your eyes so you can fucking see. No,
I don't want to. No,
I'm not doing it.
If I don't open my eyes, I can't see the tax evasion that I'm committing. But I will give ratings to the first one. It's got like a really cool scene with like the big fat guy, and like they literally blow him up with UV lights. That's pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah, great. Yeah, you focus on the gore. And the glamour of it all. I'm focused on the story. It is my words, obviously, but special mention to a certain person that mentioned it. Like if it wasn't for that film, like Marvel wouldn't have had like the resurgence that eventually did do.
No, it was kind of the first film that was successful for Marvel.
It was good.
Yeah, in the 90s, the brand Marvel, they were in such dire need of like assistance that they ended up just selling property here, there, and everywhere. That's why Spider-Man's and X-Men are all like, those films are all Sony, where like all the other films are now like, you know, that's Marvel, that sort of things. And they borrow each other now, which is good, but you know, you won't see a decent X-Men film because it's handled by Sony.
Yeah.
So
was X-Men Sony?
pretty sure, or is it Fox? But now Fox is Disney. Spider-Man's Sony. That's why, that's...
Spider-Man is Sony. So, my last honourable mention is The Matrix.
Yeah.
And, like, fuck, the first one. Like, could you remember, like, when it came out? It was like...
Yeah.
Actually, holy fuck, like people's lives change. People were literally like questioning their own existence over this shit, and like I still do to this day.
That's true.
And
Red pill, blue pill.
Yeah, I can't remember which one is which, but give me the one where I eat a fat juicy steak and look at a girl in a red dress all day long. Who would choose to be eating that gloop? And
what, in like real life, who would want to wake up from the simulation?
Yeah, would you want to wake up from that?
Nah. Although, what's the place that they have, like their stronghold, like Zion is. They got banging parties there, like in the later.
Oh yeah, but no, only in the last film. Only in the last film where they literally fuck themselves to death. Right, so with that, that's not even the first film, but yeah. Granted, go flash forward to that. They know that tomorrow we're going to get attacked and we're all going to die and everything like that. Instead of thinking, right, boys, let's get our head down a little bit. Let's get a good 9 hours, 9 hours. Let's get refreshed. Let's get ready, prepared for this. No, instead of that, they all fucking take ecstasy. They go on a fucking mad bender. And then, like, the Sentinels bang on the door and they're like, whoa.
Yeah,
all wrapped out.
This is why humanity fucking failed in the first place. Because, like, if it's going to be the end of all things, just like get fucked up.
Go for it.
Yeah.
To be fair, I do that like every single Christmas Eve. Like Christmas Eve, we're like, right, wrap the presents up for the kids, get up nice and early and shit. And I'm like, right, yeah, we'll do that. Yeah, I'll have a little bit. Have a little bit.
Yeah.
Fucking 4 a.m. I'm still pissed and like,
on to the Baileys.
Tradition. It's what humans do.
Yeah. Crumble under pressure. So those are our honourable mentions, and thank you very much for the listener who highlighted Blade. If you do want honourable mentions, please contact us. We'll be happy to talk about it. The honourable mention goes to Tim. Thanks, Tim.
Timmy boy.
You're on the
OG.
podcast.
Yeah, so, good man. Thank you.
I do like Blade. I'm just arguing with Rob. Right, the final is come down to Forrest Gump versus Showgirls. I think if we start with Forrest Gump and just give a brief overview of like the story, just from your perspective, and my joint input, and then we can kind of go from there, really.
So the premise of Forrest Gump can be interpreted differently from every single viewer. Basically,
I view it as a piece of shit. I don't.
You're viewing it like Blade was, or Wesley Snipes was in fucking Blade.
Keep his eyes closed. All right, okay. So like my view of Forrest Gump, like
go on.
And I've kind of explained part of it throughout this series. Is film is great, and I will talk about the review. It does go to certain points in history, but it highlights that as episodes to help guide the timeline along. So if you recognise that he went to the White House and that was the president at the time, and he weed on his hands and blah blah blah, these sorts of things, and it helps the time go along. But I think they're just kind of like gratuitously put in there as like, oh yeah, no, he was there, and now he's a ping pong champion, and now he's in Nam, and now he's owning a shrimp boat, and it's like really popular. And like for me, the character development of Forrest, and this is something we'll never agree on, was very stagnant. But that's not to say that the characters around him didn't develop really well. Like the ensemble cast around Tom Hanks was really, really good. Like it was Gary Sinise as like Lieutenant Dan, perfect. Like, you know, he's this like really uptight. I'm talking. He's really
I know.
uptight, dumb guy, and then like all of a sudden he's just like this war vet, and he hates himself, and there's all this other shit. And Forrest digs him out of it because he's like,
Right. Okay. Yeah. Now, listen. During that whole little fucking collection of words that you just said, I'm composing myself more than I've composed myself ever. And you've even gone like, oh, because people can't see this because it's audio. And you're like, I'm talking because I'm getting extremely animated. The whole premise of it is not necessarily how Forrest, changes. That's not the whole point. That's complete opposite point. The whole point is that he is him the whole way through. And it's how he affects lives and everyone else changes around him and evolves around him, rather than him actually changing himself. And it's not even that he doesn't understand it, it's that he's oblivious to it. He's just existing. He's just existing. He's going through this, like, you know, this one track line and stuff, and how himself and his actions, be it non-conscious or conscious or whatever, is irrelevant. How everyone else changes around it, and that is the fucking beauty of it. It's just saying.
But when
no, shut your mouth. It's basically a message to people in general. Listen, cunts, you be
nice.
You be you. You be you, and you be true to yourself and irrelevant, and you just do your path.
But when Jenny passes away because of the AIDS, you know, stuff, and Forrest has his child, like, and he looks after mini Forrest Jr. or Bushel, or like the tiny
dead kids or whatever.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's the same kid, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't leave
research over him.
I wouldn't leave my child with Forrest.
You wouldn't leave your child with him? No, you wouldn't. No, but you would leave Jenny with him.
No. She's reckless as well. Social services should have got involved well early.
Jenny was reckless, blah, 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 had all of her own thing, everything like that. Definitely shouldn't have ever been a parent, but then changed her way and became like a really good parent. Forrest was never, ever a fucking bad person. All he ever did was protect the people that he loved.
Mowed the grass.
Full stop. Yeah, he mowed the grass. Went for a little jog. He had nothing else to do.
Went for a little jog.
Made a great business. Made Lieutenant Dan actually like love himself. Bubba Gump's family made them fucking privilege and shit off of an idea that Bubba Gump had. Like, you know, fuck off.
I know. No. I actually really, really like Forrest Gump. I think it's a great film, and I actually agree with everything that you say. But to argue against your points and watch you get so passionate about it, like, tickles me.
next time we're together and hungover, and I say like, oh yeah, or you say whatever. Oh yeah, let's put a film on. We're not watching Showgirls. No, we're watching Forrest Gump, and you're going to hear.
So we'll end up watching Showgirls.
Yeah, we will watch Showgirls. Whilst we're watching Showgirls, I'll tell you all about Forrest Gump. The only difficulty storyline wise that I have with Forrest Gump is that Jenny died of the AIDS, which she ends up going to Forrest before they have a child, and she goes,
"Yeah,
Forrest, I'm sick." And he's like, I'll look after you and shit. I'm not being funny. She should have been a better person and said, yeah, I'm not sick. Like, you know, I haven't got COVID, or like I haven't got bird flu. Yeah, I've got AIDS. And then he looks after her, obviously fucks her, has a kid, you know, but he never gets AIDS and dies. So
no, I mean, that's a good point.
Yeah.
But maybe because, well, they didn't use protection because she got pregnant. She goes back to Forrest because she knows that's the one consistently good thing throughout her life, as she's ripped it apart deliberately herself. Forrest has always been a fixed point of consistency. And
because
she knows
that's the whole fucking point of it.
I know. I'm
Of
not arguing that now. I've told you. Like I agree. Like in the story, it's easy to write that around somebody who has no consequence in terms of moral dilemma. Like Forrest is honest and open and says what he thinks, and 9 times out of 10, it's like the most positive thing. And that is fine. It's easy to write around that, and that's why I think the ensemble characters are probably the best parts of the film, only because it makes Forrest's character like heightened. So he does appear as this like really honourable person because of all the non-honourable people around him who he helps in different ways. So
and they become better. And they improve their lives and they're happier, etc. and stuff purely because of him. I mean, Jenny coming back to him, having a kid with him, had nothing to do with him being a fucking nigh-on billionaire. Nothing to do with that.
No, none of
Nothing to do with that. No.
No, of course not.
No.
No, but
none
still,
of that.
None of it. So yeah, Forrest Gump.
Yeah, sorry.
No, we love it. We love it. So the argument for Showgirls then. So a little synopsis about Showgirls. So it starts off. And we forget actually. I think we've explained quite a bit of what Showgirls is about from Nomi's perspective. But if we try to think about the other characters a little bit here. Now we did fail to neglect to mention her friend. Who?
Yeah, I was good. Yeah, we have. Sorry to cut you up. We have spoken about Naomi and like the comedy side of it and whatever and the stuff like that, but zero about the actual story of it.
Yeah, so like Naomi Malone, she is like this girl who flies in. She just like sweeps into town, and she has ideas about what she wants to do, but she can't really get there because it's a difficult industry, but she wants to be successful. So she kind of befriends this woman who ends up being a costume designer for a highbrow titty show, essentially, goddess. The person she befriends like takes her in, and Naomi lives with this woman, essentially gets introduced to Crystal Connors that way, and then Crystal Connors. And that's when Crystal Connors like does her weird manipulation thing between her and Flintstone's villain guy,
the victim.
The victim. For no apparent reason, we established there doesn't seem to be a clear motive about it. She just kind of like fucks shit up a little bit. But the friend,
she's what the late newer generation call a disruptor.
She is. Yes, she is. Yeah. She is that.
Yes.
Is that?
She's got a great thing going on. Like she has like a great thing. She's at the fucking pinnacle of her career. She's king of the castle. She's like top dog. She's like, let's fuck it up a little bit.
This is true, but like, but talking about the victim, so Carl McLaughlin, like he's not so much a victim. He's also playing a game, and this happens like with the story. The best friend has an obsession with this singer who, once Nomi starts to get in with the victim with Carl McLaughlin, is able to go to a party where this singer is, and she wants to meet the singer. When she finally
the A-listers.
The A-listers, and she finally meets the singer who she's idolized and everything for a very long time, and then the singer like brutally rapes her. It's a horrible storyline, but it's very much swept under the carpet quite quickly through Nomi's own obsession with herself. There's different a whole heap of other layers going on, so that gets put to the side while Nomi is in a struggle with Crystal Connors and Carl McLaughlin. I forgot his name the victim, about the power struggle to then become the lead in Goddess. And it's so rubbish, but it is great. There's like lots of other things in there as well, like the guy that he wants her to be the dancer, but he really just wants to get in her pants and all this other stuff. Like there's loads of different storylines going on, but it's just a power struggle between all of these these characters, yes, it comes across like a soap opera, like on Lifetime channel or whatever, but with an abundance of tits and arse and like toplessness. But that's what
Like-
makes it so like
Neighbours
endearing.
on the BBC, shown 2 times a day.
Yeah, God, just imagine Susan Kennedy.
You think this is the first time I've imagined Susan Kennedy? You're fucking mad. Harold Bishop and
Harold
Helen.
Bishop and Lou Carpenter.
I mean, I don't know where you're going. Like,
they're down the water hole, and
are they? Strove.
Strove. We're spit roasting Helen tonight.
Yeah. I think a lot of Showgirls is it's a titty film, tits, blah blah blah, and everything like that. But it's a fight. It's a fight against the patriarchy. And then, initially, it should be, because obviously, like, the industry is based around the patriarchy of, like, men, get these clubs, they want you to dance for men, and everything like that. But actually, the underhanded actual power is the matriarchy. Mm-hmm. And now, for me personally, it symbolizes the fact that, like, women or the matriarchy speak about, let's empower women, let's empower each other, let's do this and everything like that. But actually, this film is complete opposite.
Yeah,
it's women trying to cunt women over.
Yeah,
benefit men. It's terrible. And like, I'll always remember, the one part of the film that I remember the least, purely because we would be around yours or whatever, watch the film up to that stage, and then after that, it'll be like, it will get to a certain scene, and it'll be like, right, who wants a cup of tea? Let's have a little, little break. Would be that rape scene, because it is fucking horrific. It is so horrific. It's so shocking to watch, isn't it? It's so powerful.
Yeah, like for a film that, although it's trying to be serious, comes across as fairly comical in its acting, and like some of the storylines try to be super serious and stuff. The best friend throughout the whole film like has an obsession with this guy, and then it's that abuse of power from the singer, and it doesn't hold
and his mates
punches. And his mates as well. It's all very, very horrible because of the most serious element in that. It kind of redeems it in a little way, because that's a story that does need to be told. What doesn't need to be told is the other random shit around it, but it all accentuates what's going on. Like it's fantastic. Like, and to live out there like Vegas and do that stuff, that's probably very normal. It just looks to the outsider as like completely fucking bonkers, but that's like a Tuesday.
We'll have to ask Adele.
Adele's...
Adele, what'd you do on Tuesday? Well, my costume creator got fucking gang raped, and I flapped around in the swimming pool having shit sex.
Admittedly, the sex scenes for a film that's supposed to be sexy, like in the review, are very questionable and logistically very odd.
Logistically, almost impossible. Like, I mean, how'd you get those fucking angles?
Going back to the odd like patriarchy thing with like. We mentioned it before with the auditions and like the men coming in and being very forceful about like, with show us your breasts now, and like, can you make your like nipples erect, and then using ice and stuff. It's really like watching it while trying not to take the piss out of it is actually like really dark and disturbing.
It is.
The film is just dark and disturbing,
doesn't it?
Yeah, that stuff went on and may still go on today in that industry.
And I mean, if it doesn't, then you've got like a lot of dancers with almost inverted nipples. And who's going to pay money for that?
Nobody's going to pay any money for that. You need those nippy nips out. They got to be like right in the punter's face.
Yeah, I think it did the complete opposite of sexual films, we'll say, because there's a lot of sexual films where you're like, oh yeah, that's really, really sexy and stuff, but this like highlights how unsexy that actual business is. And when you see the clientele and you're like, oh god, fucking hell, that's shit. Yeah,
there is a harsh reality to it, and maybe that wasn't the intention, but it came across that way. For personally, like, we watched it because it had boobs in it. That's what we take away.
Yeah. Oh,
That's
God,
what we took away for it. So, you know, although Forrest Gump has the social impacts of like understanding relationships, redeeming yourself, like heavy amounts of redemption from a lot of the other characters, and you know, Forrest is happy at the end with his son. Although it's bittersweet because he lost his mother and Jenny, the woman he loved, and his best friend. Like,
you don't ever know from the start to the finish Forrest's emotions. You don't ever know, not once, if he's happy or sad or anything. You don't know.
right, so really it comes down to what is gonna win. Like, we've actually talked quite seriously about the good points of all these films in this episode, but mainly focusing on Forrest Gump and Showgirls, and actually being quite serious about their content. And you know, the impact for Forrest Gump for yourself has been quite profound. Like, for myself, it's been a film that is memorable and has very key qualities in it, which you would want to kind of watch again when you feel like, I need that pick me up in a way.
Because you've literally watched it once, haven't you?
No, I've watched it many times, and it's the same with Showgirls as well. It's that film that you think
it's not the same as Showgirls. There's no way I have watched any film more than Showgirls.
No way. Showgirls the most times. That's how that sentence came across.
I mean, with or without you.
You're U2ing me, are you?
Who did I actually ended up watching Showgirls with somebody else. My mate Brendan was like, yeah, let's watch a film Showgirls. Had to turn it off. Yeah. So I was like, you're not getting it, are you? You're not getting this.
You're not getting it. It's not the same.
Yeah.
Oh, that means a lot, man.
No, thanks.
Okay, so we got to think now. We have
go on.
the film that will win the movie showdown. What are we deciding?
We could do Heads or Tails. We could do that.
Okay.
We could do that. Or we could do it like this. We could do It's Just Me and You. No one else. No one else around.
Okay. What, like now?
Yeah, pretty much now. Or any other opportunity we ever release a podcast. Yeah, right. Let's do it, because all of this is about films that me and you both know and we've watched together and everything like that. All right. So, what out of those two films, which one would you most want to watch with me?
It'll be Showgirls, without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah.
Because although,
what would you be wearing?
I'd be wearing a Versace dress. We must say, I'm pronouncing it Versace because that's what she pronounces it in the film instead of Versace, and it's funny because I'm in that. So
I love the fact that you're saying that you're wearing a dress, and like I would be myself. I'll be wearing like a denim fucking vest with like patches all over it, and like fucking a chain with my wallet and all that shit.
Yeah,
like,
bring the chain with the wallet back.
Yeah,
that's
because
all right, I'll treat you good.
No. Yeah, you treat me good. I won't treat you fucking good, and you
that's
know
how
that.
I love it. That's what I want. So
yeah, sorry.
Showgirls wins. Showgirls wins. It has led up to this moment across 3 episodes, to the conclusion that me and Rob had from the first minute of the first episode of Movie Showdown, that Showgirls will win.
Yeah.
And it has been heavily influenced throughout.
And there you have it. Showgirls wins Movie Showdown. The story of a girl trying to make it big and doing whatever she can to make that happen. This choice goes to prove that our presenters are nothing more than dirty perverts who like to see a little bit of boobies now and again and try to hide it by creating a movie tournament on their podcast when really all they wanted to do was talk about boobs. But there you go. Showgirls wins movie showdown.
There we go. Let us know your thoughts on the choice that we made. Do you think from the things that we discussed, and if you've watched Showgirls, you'd obviously agree with us anyway.
Yeah, how could you not?
Did we make the right decision? Should we have chosen Forrest Gump? Which films should have gone through? Were the honourable mentions honourable enough? You know, we want to know. And if you think we should do another one of these, let us know. To be fair, I'm quite tired of talking about films.
No, same,
Yeah, I do love movies, but there's a lot of pressure to try and make every conclusion Showgirls. So yeah, we will be back next week with something different again, because this podcast, and I don't know if we kind of, if you haven't got it already, is completely random. Every episode is different, and we like it that way. We don't want to be boxed in to any particular genre. We want to try to give everybody a bit of something, but in our own individual, completely misinformed take on things.
We want to have a topic, and obviously like this and the other 2 episodes beforehand, that's a lot of time and like it's a big chunk of a topic that we love dealing and stuff. But like we want to talk about everything.
We
like,
do
all loads of shit. Where Paul, I want to make sure that Paul researches as much like random stuff and just like throws it between the 2 of us.
Yeah,
I think that's good.
Absolutely, yeah. If you love the podcast, please leave a review, or like just, you know, even if it's a negative one, just leave something. But don't, because we love you. And just leave it on your favorite podcast. Share this around. Like, if you think that, you know, you love it, it's funny, tell your mates. Get us out there. We are attention starved, and we want more attention.
Yeah, tell your nan.
Tell your nan. Nan will love us.
Yeah, she loves it.
Should we do a nan-specific episode where everything's all lovely? Should we do a child-friendly episode where Rob doesn't say the word cunt 60 or 70 times?
We can do a nan episode, but like, I don't think we have much on like lovely nans.
That has been the movie showdown. Showgirls wins. Everyone's happy. I'm probably going to go off and watch Showgirls now.
Yeah, I'm probably going to do the same.
Awesome. We will see you next week with something completely different. I have been Paul.
And I've been Rob.
And you've been listening to In My Humble Opinion. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
You have been listening to the In My Humble Opinion podcast, the finale of Movie Showdown. Join us on Instagram by searching @humbleopinions_podcast, or TikTok by searching @In My Humble Opinion podcast, or viewing us on YouTube by searching In My Humble Opinion Pod, or one word.